PTTS. Today's date is January 23rd, 2023, Monday. My name is Nang Hong Lam. Right now I felt like I am upset, and I felt that maybe after the end of this video I would feel lesser upset about the situation I'm in. So that's what I'm thinking right now, but at the same time it's just that whole wanting to disappoint me, like just this whole opposing force that's been just wanting to disappoint me. Basically, now that I claim, kind of like in a way, like I'm just jinxing myself, I'm just saying that at the end of this video, in a way, because of the whole opposing force that just have to disappoint me, it's just gonna jinx me. Basically saying that I'm jinxing myself because I want to say that at the end of this video I'm gonna feel lesser upset about the situation. So that's what I'm feeling right now, that it's just this whole, the opposing forces just have to, it's kind of like in a way, it's like they have to, maybe something that in their life that they have to. It's just like I felt like they just have to. And even so, anyway, this morning I made a video which was just about the kind of expressing the upsetting thoughts that I have this morning. It's just very upsetting. I remember I have to delete the first part of it because I kind of cuss out loud in the morning. So this morning video was in a way like it was just expressing how upset I was and just the upset thoughts that I had and things like that. So I kind of delete the cussing part of so this morning one. Anyway, right now I just returned from the store. Like I went to the store. It's called Book Off. Okay, I just returned from the store. It's called Book Off San Diego. So anyway, I just returned from that store, and I was just basically I'm just having thoughts. It's just like I don't know. Like I think that I don't know. I've been having these thoughts. It's just similar to the thoughts I have, these upsetting thoughts like in the morning. It's just like the whole denial, like denial in a way. It's just a humiliation to myself, no respect to myself, and humiliation to myself. So it's just these denials is kind of like in a way like denials is of the what's happening in my life and things like that. So these denials is I felt that will lead to. So basically I am having these denials is instead of contemplating on committing suicide. Basically that's the argument. I am kind of like in a way humiliating myself by having denials is so that I don't have contemplations of committing suicide and things, these kind of thoughts is because I'm using denials is. So that's the argument, that I am humiliating myself because I am using denials is so that I don't have thoughts of contemplating on committing suicide and things like that. So that is the argument. So basically I'm humiliating myself, and by not having these, by getting into denials is so that I don't have these contemplations of committing suicide thoughts. So in a way, so basically without those denials is I'm basically at the point of supposedly having thoughts of contemplating on committing suicide. That is the argument. It's just if I have the dignity to face my humiliation and won't get into denials, is then I'm supposed to have contemplations on committing suicide. So basically that's the argument. It's like so anyway, I'm supposed, basically that's just like that whole keep pounding on my head. It's like I'm supposed to have contemplations on committing suicide. It's like, anyway, I would just think, like, I just returned from the book off store, and it's just constantly pounding on my head, and it's like, how am I gonna, look around the store when these dots just keep pounding on my head? I'm supposed to have contemplation on committing suicide. It's like, and then it was like, I would just kind of wasn't really that, felt that, basically just having upsetting thought because of just having these thoughts just pounding on me that I suppose have contemplation on committing suicide, and it's like these arguments so it's just becoming upsetting. So I just want to point out that maybe it's this whole, like I saw, I don't, like the time that I actually saw, like I saw Bunhong Lam and Bunhong Sam and Andy Sam, like I think about one of each, that they walk over to my working area and turn off my laptop and things like that. I saw them like one time, but someone's been frequently just turn off my laptop. So it's just like this whole, just taking out, thinking that I am just like this person that, people could just, get away with messing with me and things like that. It's just this whole thoughts, even like, so even though I only saw Bunhong Sam and Andy Sam done it once, but it's been many times been happening that someone's been turning off my laptop. So it's like, even though I only saw them about one of each time doing it, but it's just, I felt that there is this whole correlation that people is thinking that they could get away with messing with me and things like that. It's like this whole, I don't know, maybe there's something related to that people thinking that maybe they could get away with messing with me and things like that. And I don't know, I think sawing that and just because of these, but I'm just having that thought. It's like maybe that's, I don't know if that is, I don't have the actual evidences to prove this point, but I only saw like Andy San and Bunhong San done it once. They just turned off my laptop without telling me any reason, just walk over to my desk. So anyway, I only saw them done it once, but it has been turned off frequently, like many times. Someone walk over to my working area and turn off my laptop. So I felt like there's this correlation. Maybe someone's thinking, maybe people thinking that they could get away with messing with me and things like that. It's just because of seeing these correlations and things like that. I don't know, I just saw this. I don't have enough evidence to prove this point, but I think that could be one of the reasons is this whole argument that I'm supposed to have contemplations on committing suicide, because people keep having these thoughts that they think they could get away with messing with my life and things like that. It's like, I think that's how there's that argument that I'm supposed to have contemplation on committing suicide, because of these if that is true, if that is true that people think they could get away with messing with my life, if that is true, then then it would kind of make sense that I'm supposed to, like that argument that I'm supposed to have contemplation on committing suicide. Like if people keep messing with my life, then it would eventually lead to that. It's like, so anyway, I'm just pointing that out, and it's like, but at the same time, it's just, well, okay, so anyway, my biological parents, Chung Wan Lam and Sokmi Muhoy. Okay, I am not saying any. I have not made any claims. This is Chongwon Lam autobiography. So if you want to make, kind of like in a way, want to know more about my biological parents, Chongwon Lam wrote an autobiography. So you could probably read about it, and then you could probably know more about my biological parents. I think, in a way, since he already wrote his book and his autobiography book, and then he had the newspaper articles is published during the time while he's writing his book. If you do kind of want to make some kind of argument, you probably want to look through his autobiography first. Since he took all these steps, like this article is printed in newspaper during the time while he's writing his book, his autobiography book, and everything. So it's in the front pages. Like he also included those newspaper articles print out in the front pages. So he took all these steps to write his autobiography book. So I felt that maybe you want to make arguments about his life, you probably want to look through his autobiography book first. In a way that's how I felt. Since he took all these steps to write his autobiography book. I think if you want to make arguments about my biological parent, my biological father and biological mother, like Chongwon Lam and Sokmin Hui, I think probably you want to look through Chongwon Lam autobiography books, since there's all these events about their life. So I think, I don't know, that's what I put it on. So I'm just, since he took all these steps to write his autobiography book, I just see that, and then there's all these newspaper, and then this reporter came over to the house and interviewed Chongwon Lam multiple. From what I saw, what I observed, that there was a reporter came over to have interview of Chongwon Lam about his autobiography book. So from what I observed, I saw it multiple times. The reporter did that. So it's so in a way I put it at you want to make arguments about Chongwon Lam and Sokmin Hui, you probably want to read Chongwon Lam autobiography book first. So that's what I put it at for now. It's just I don't want, since I have a lot of conflicts in my life already. I felt like these conflicts it's making people having that arguments is that I supposed to have contemplation on committing suicide and things like that. So it's so anyway, it just read the autobiography book. You want to make arguments about them and things like that. That's what I put it on. So basically, my biological father Chongwon Lam and my biological mother Sokmin Hui, just read their autobiography book. If you want to know more about them and things like that. And I saw since there's a reporter came over to the house, from my observation, I saw multiple times reporter making interview of Chongwon Lam. So it's, but I don't know how much he have done. Just by looking through his autobiography book, this newspaper article in the front page is during the time while he's writing his autobiography book. So those are my observation, but I don't know what else. I see that he probably took more steps, but those are the one based on my observation. I saw a reporter came over to the house, interviewed him multiple times, and also those articles in the newspapers published it during the time while he's writing his autobiography book. So that's what from my observations. So I just put it at, you just probably want to read his Chongwon Lam autobiography book. You want to make some kind of arguments about his life.